Hey guys, it's Mo, and today I have for you another Design with Me in Cricut Design Space tutorial. Today we're going to be working with this gigantic April craft bundle from a new site that reached out to me called craftbundles.com. So this site has a bunch of bundles like this where there's clip art, there's fonts, there's SVG files, there's patterns, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can work with to make some really cool stuff. So this is the gigantic April bundle. There's a bunch of them for different months, and I believe one comes out every month. This one is only $22 over the next 21 days, and I'm filming this on the 19th of April, and I think this should go up next week, early in the week. So, and I'm also hoping you can't hear my washer and dryer as they go, but you might be able to. Today we're going to be working with some vectors, and we're going to be working with some fonts, and I'm going to show you how to use templates in Cricut Design Space, and I'm just going to sort of walk you through my design process of making a shirt. If you don't know, this is going to be like one of my very first final projects, but if you don't know, I'm getting married in October. So I want to have a shirt that says bride, like every other bride does, and I was like, you know what? I can make this. So when you purchase this guy, you'll be able to download it, and you'll download it in 3 parts. And when you download it, you're going to find these zipped files. What that is a compressed file so that more information can fit in a smaller space. To access these, you'll need to unzip them. So depending on what your operating system is and what version you're running, things might be a little bit different. This is going to be on a Windows 10 computer. So I'm going to double click this. It's going to come up here and it's going to say compressed folder, and I'm going to want to extract it because I can't really see anything. And what extracting it all does is it sort of uncompresses the file, opens everything up so that you can see it. So I'm going to select extract all, and it's going to save it in this folder. You can find a different place to save it, whatever you want to do, and you'll hit extract. And it might take a little bit because there are 768 items in this gigantic craft bundle part 2. So I'm going to pause the video here, and I will join you back when this is done uncompressing. So the whole file has been extracted, and you can see I can now close. I could close that, but I do want to go back because I want to access where the fonts are. So you can see this file here was extracted to be this file, and that means when I open it up, I can see all of the parts of the file and work with them more freely. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out here. Today, we're going to be working with these hand-drawn vector elements, and we're also going to be working with a font. You can see you got a DXF, an EPS, a PNG, and an SVG file. I'm going to work with the PNG files just because I know, or I feel like they upload faster as image files, and then we can always switch them to cut files once we're in Cricut Design Space. It's great. So I'm going to open this up, and if it will open here, I'm going to open this up, and we can see all of these. There's 105 of these vectors here. Now, we're going to import these, or I'm sorry, PNGs. We're going to import these into Cricut Design Space. What I also want to do is install a font from this bundle. We're going to work with the Estamilo, I'm assuming that's how you say it, font, because I think that's going to be really pretty to write bride on the shirt. So I'm going to go back here, back. And I do want to show you the fonts all seem to have come in the first download. So you got documentation, fonts, and graphics. We can extract this, but I've realized that you don't necessarily have to do that to install a font. So I'm going to double click on the font, or the font folder. We've got all of these fonts here. We're going to install the Estamilo font, so I'm going to double click on this again. I'm going to install the OpenType font. I'm just going to double click it, not right click it, double click it. Oops, it opened it up twice. And select install. And it's going to install this font, and you're going to be able to use it in your project. And it's that simple. You don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to do anything ridiculous to get it installed. You just double tap install, and it goes from there. So we're going to go to Cricut Design Space. I'm going to open up a new project, and I'm going to select upload. So I'm going to upload an image, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop because I find it very useful to do that. We're going to go to this gigantic bundle 2, hand-drawn vectors, PNG file, and I'm going to choose something that is connected. So I'm going to choose this guy, and I'm just going to drag and drop here. Because this is a black and white file, and because I'm just turning it into a cut file anyway, I'm going to hit simple, continue. We don't have to clean anything up. You can see it's already a PNG file. We could, because I know this is not going to fit around my bride script, I could cut it. If I could figure this out, I could crop it and then flip it if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that though. Undo. I'm just going to leave it as it is because I'm going to show you a different trick in Design Space. So we're going to hit continue. I'm going to save it as a print and cut image. You can rename it however you'd like. You can hit save, and it's going to upload your image to Cricut Design Space. You can see I already did it here. This is also one of the cut files from the April Mega Craft Bundle. So we're going to select this and insert images. It's going to insert rather largely, I think. Not too big, not too big. Okay. We're going to click on this print here and change it to cut. It's really that simple. You don't have to necessarily save it as a cut file. Because I'm making a t-shirt, I want to go to templates, and I want to go to something like fashion and find a t-shirt. I honestly don't think I'm going to choose this maternity shirt. I'm not trying to make a maternity shirt, but I feel like this represents the best shirt that I want to make. Just a regular t-shirt. And what that's going to do is kind of scale it so you can see and bring up this very light outline of a template here. And if you don't want to see it, you can hide it with eyeball, but we do want to see it. Now we're going to go add text, and I'm just going to type in bride. And we're going to go to the font, and we're going to choose system, and we're going to search for that Estamilo font. Let's see here. Took me a minute to find it there, but we're going to go to system, and we're going to type in ES, and that's going to bring up everything that has an ES in it. I know I'm looking for that Estamilo, so I'm going to select Estamilo. And it's going to import it here. And you can see that the letters, which if you like this, you can totally do it. You can see that the letters aren't connected. And I don't think that's going to look that great. So we're going to go with the letter space here. And we're just going to knock it down until the letters touch. And so that's really helpful to make your script fonts look like script fonts. And what you're going to run into is you can see that the B and the R and the I are starting to touch, oops, nicely, I'm hitting the wrong thing, are starting to touch nicely, but the D and the E aren't. So if we keep going, you can eventually see this little line is coming out of the I when it starts being connected to the D and the E. That's not what we want. So I'm going to make it so that the B, R, I are connected and look beautiful and perfect. Should I do it one more? Nope. And then I'm going to do something that's sort of new here, and I'm going to break up this word into letters. So we're going to go ungroup to letters, and that's going to make each individual letter its own layer. So we can use our arrow keys to nudge the D and nudge the E back together. Now, in order to get this to cut everything as one solid piece, we need to select all, except for this guy. We don't need that little guy. Select all, so you have the B, the R, the I, D, and E selected. And we're going to go down here and we're going to hit weld. That's going to weld this word back together. You can see how pretty this font is. And we can gauge how big we want it to be on our t-shirt here. Now, I want to take this guy. Let's change him to black so that we can just see it better. And I kind of want to put one of these frilly things on one side and one on the other side, but they're connected. So how are we going to split them up? We're going to go to Shapes, insert a square, and we're going to use our slice tool. So like I said, we could have cropped this earlier, but if you get an element into your design and you think, oh crap, I should have cropped that earlier because I only want this part, you don't have to go back and start all over. We're just going to insert a shape, overlay it over the thing that we want to slice, and we're going to drag and select all. So we're going to make sure we have the rectangle or the square and the design element selected. We're going to go down here, we're going to select slice. And what that's going to do is going to cut it up into multiple pieces. So we have this guy, we have this guy, and now we have this guy separate. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these two guys, and I'm going to bring this guy over here, and I'm going to bring this guy over here. What we can do to make sure they're lined up, you can have them like off center. You can even rotate this bride if you want. I don't think I want to do that. I think I kind of like this off-center thing, but if we wanted to line these up, we could just select both of them. What I normally do is select one. So I click on one, hold down the Shift key, and select the other one. And then we can go to Align, and we can center vertically. And what that's going to do is going to bring the vertical axis of these two in line with each other. Now we can move them like this. It doesn't matter. So I can't tell if I like them like this or if I like them catty corner like that. If you want to see it again, we just, move it up, see what it looks like. So I think that looks pretty cool. Now, because we're cutting this all in one color, we don't necessarily have to do this next step, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to drag and select all, and I'm going to weld all of these together. So that means I'm cutting one shape. I'm cutting one matte, one color. If we wanted to cut the bride, let's say a green, and then these little two design elements here like blue, then we could do it so. Either changing both of these to the same color. So let's change them to pink, even though I said blue. Changing these both to the same color, that will put them on the same mat. We can also, putting these all as black, we'll put them all on the same mat. But if you want to shrink, I don't know what word I was looking for, shrink things down, I guess, or make things less confusing, you can just highlight everything and weld it together. So now it's one shape. You can't edit it anymore, but you can always hit the undo button, which I think I'm going to do because I want to nudge this guy down a little bit. So we'll do this again and weld. And now I have a shirt, a design on a shirt that says bride. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this with my Cricut Explorer. I'm going to cut it on the vinyl setting. I believe if it's iron on, you got to make sure that you reverse it, which you can totally do. Let's see, I don't have my Cricut connected to this computer, so let's see if we're going to be able to do it. Yeah. So, oh, it looks like it's just over 12 inches. So I might need to, I don't have a larger mat. So that's a good thing to check out. Let's look. Yeah. Okay. So I know 11.5 is going to fit on the 12 by 12 mat. And if we keep our proportions locked, this is going to scale it down nicely. It didn't really change it too much. We can see how it looks in the center. I still think that's a good size. So we're going to hit make it. Now it's fitting in the type of mat that I have, and I believe, yep, we're going to turn on mirror, because if you're using it for iron-on or materials that are placed face down, then you'll want to mirror it. So I'm going to mirror that. And we're going to cut it out from our vinyl, and we're going to iron it onto our shirt. Okay, so I've cut out my bride text and my little doodads here, and I am doing this on my floor because I don't have that big of a workspace to do it, and I don't have an ironing board really. So I have this folded over fleece blanket. I actually use this a lot when I'm doing like ironing projects. I'll just set it folded up like this on my workspace or whatnot. I have my iron right here, and I also have a press cloth, which is just a random piece of fabric that I'm going to use. And then I have my article of clothing here, which is going to be this sweatshirt. And I'm not going to do any measuring or anything. I'm just going to eyeball this in the center up here. I think I'm gonna put it right there, right here maybe. Right here like this. Cool. So, I'm gonna eyeball it. What we need to do is get this flat here, and it says to heat up the area that you're going to, make sure this is hot, yeah. Heat up the area that you're going to adhere it to. I have my iron on max, no steam. I'm just heating up the area here. And I'm gonna put this down. And then I'm gonna take my cloth over here and I'm just gonna press. I think you want to do this for a good, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes, 15 seconds, I think. There is like a Cricut heat press thing. I don't have one of those. I'm not that cool. I would like one, but I'm not that cool. So I'm just going to do this for a little bit here. That's friggin' hot. And then we want to flip it over. And I could go from the inside, but I think I'm just going to do it this way. Oops. Make sure you're not, there's fuzz on it. Is anybody else's dryer just like put your hair and fuzz everywhere? Like I feel like your dryer is supposed to fluff up your clothes, right? Why is it putting hair on my clothes? So you do this, and then we're gonna let it cool completely before we pull off. Well, it decided it wanted to come off anyway. Oh, that's a piece that's not sticking down. So we're gonna put this here. I'm gonna put this, actually we should cover this whole thing back up. And we're gonna focus on that little spot here, but it wanted to come off when I flipped it over, so. And the instructions said if you do find a piece that's wanting to pop up, just cover everything back up and do it again. I accidentally touched my finger. So, I think I'm going to leave it and let it cool completely. Pull it back up and see what it looks like. I'm trying to see if there's any fuzz under there. So we'll do that and then we'll pull it up. So I've peeled off the backing. It's all cool now and I can't wait to wear it. I will insert some pictures here of the sweatshirt. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and let me know down below if you want to see more of these types of videos, crafting things, more DIYs, things like that. And be sure to check out craftbundles.com and that April craft bundle, because there is so much in there and so much more you can do with the elements and SVGs and PNGs and design things that are in that bundle. So I want to shout out Craft Bundles and thank them for sending me this bundle to work with and share with you all. And I will talk to you on my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.